Welcome back to the Division 2. In this video we are going through the latest patch notes, which will be for TU11.1. The commentary is going to sound a little bit weirder on this one to normal because I was basically, every time there are patch notes, I always sit in a party talking to Con and Pete. I always read them out and then I decide to go back through them and record the commentary separately. This time I thought I'd try and make it a little bit easier on myself. So what I did was I read them out to Con and Pete and recorded the commentary at exactly the same time. So that's just a warning. If you hear me say something in a weird manner, it's because I'm talking to Con and Pete whilst I'm reading these out. But so far all is looking good, as long as they get it right and there's not too many bugs introduced to the update. So what we're going to do now is jump into the patch notes. If you want to read through them for yourself, even though I did cover everything in the list, there will be a link in the description as always. Developer comment: with the TU11.1 changes to the summit, we're addressing topics brought up by the community, including difficulty, directives and targeted loot. We want to fulfill, it's already started, we want to fulfill the player fantasy of climbing from floor 1 to 100 with customized challenge and rewards. Difficulty and directives. When interacting with the lobby elevator, players will be able to start or select their desired difficulty and directives. All difficulties are selectable. For directives, players are able to select from all 9 released. Missions and global difficulties still have the 5 seasonal directives. We advise limiting yourself to 5 active. Use more at your own risk. So they're putting in a little warning, and we're just going to bypass everything and just go straight with 9. Because why not? Players can now ascend their customised summit at their own pace. All players will initially start at floor 1. Progress is now saved more frequently at each elevator players encounter. Instead of the old rally points, now players will resume where they left on subsequent playthroughs. This means you can stop at floor 38, then the next day continue from the elevator at floor 37. So the elevators, they're going to work exactly how they did before every 3 floors. After players finish floor 100 on their next summit attempt, they'll restart at floor 1. For co-op, we save the maximum of your previous checkpoint and your current session. For an example, player previously had a save at floor 60. They matchmake and finish floor 95 with a group. On their next playthrough, the player would continue at the elevator on floor 93. Then they've got another example that just says exactly the same stuff with different floor numbers. But it's talking about lower floors this time round. So, player previously had a save at floor 81. They matchmake and finish floor 34 with a group. On their next, they would continue at 81. So basically, they should have just said the highest floor you get to, whether you join a group or not after that, will be your progress. At any point while in the summit, players can open the mega map and set their personal targeted loot. For their allocation, the players can select from weapon types, gear slots, mods, brands, gear sets. The selection within summit is personal, which means any player can have their own. Threat scaling: the higher players climb, the more likely they are to encounter tougher enemies. The chance for enemies to spawn as veteran or elite gradually increases per floor. Lieutenant squads occur more often or more frequently as you ascend. The boss floors for 10, 20, 30, 90, etc. feature multiple named hostiles on higher floors. They've added a weekly project for finishing summit, and that includes an exotic cache. More objective types, quicker laptop interact animation. Adjusted the spawning of enemies during hack terminals. Objectives: holding shade crates is more beneficial. Added new UI notifications about exotic fire teams and bosses. Directives now increase the chance of targeted loot to drop. See, we pretty much know all of this, but since it was introduced, it's been influenced by a number of factors. With TU11.1, each active directive adds a small amount of the total drop chance of targeted loot. This applies everywhere directives are present. Directives still increase your XP as well. There's an increased cooldown reduction per skill part collected with scavenged skills. And they fixed an issue causing fragile armor's broken stacks to behave strangely after dying and being revived. But that's not the only time they act strangely. I've done like several missions in a row where I've never actually had broken armor and it doesn't show up on the UI and stuff. They've added individual targeted loot allocations for each gear set. This applies both to the normal rotation and to Summit's personal targeted loot. For an example, Lincoln Memorial can have True Patriot. Then we've got the changes to the Ridgeway's Pride. For first part of Exotic Quest, parts now drop based on Summit floor numbers and increased drop chance of parts. For the third part of the Exotic Quest, they've lowered the number of rogue agents and hunters that need to be killed to 2 from 3. Increased the radiuses of the bleeding edge talent to 15 meters. Increased the repair strength, which is now 3% for 1 enemy, 6 for 2, 12% for 3, 24% for 4, and 48% of your armor for 5 enemies within the radius. They've decreased the overall time to kill by 10% in PvP, decreased shotgun damage by 12.5%, and they've increased the damage to shields by 25%. And they've also fixed an issue in Conflict which caused the Firewall Specialization Flamethrower to deal an excessive amount of damage. Then all we've got is a little list of bug fixes. Fixed loot crates not resetting if encountered twice in a session. Restored the ability to select matchmake without reloading. Mega Map now has correct tabs. Improved the loot from the final 100th floor enemy. Swapped doors to be windowless in various spots, so it's not just floor 100. Legendary Black Tusk or the White Tusk have been taught how to hold guns properly. Improvements to an issue that could cause the 100th floor to note complete after killing all enemies. I'm pretty sure that's supposed to be to not complete, but they've put note. Fixed an issue where agents could fall through the map and become stuck between the elevators. Fixed an issue causing legendary Black Tusks to sometimes appear on difficulties they should not be in. We've had other factions from 81 to 100 when it's just supposed to be the White Tusk. We've never had the White Tusk outside of Legendary. Fixed occurrences of enemies not leaving their spawn closets. I'm hoping that's American History Museum and Grand Washington Hotel at least. Although it's not, it's the Summit. It's just the Summit. So that again, they're not bothering. Oh, wait, no, there's extras. This is all just the Summit stuff. So they've also fixed the objective requirements of toxic gas remaining on screen after a group member interacts with a laptop. Fixed a loot room that could not be interacted with. Fixed occurrences of enemies incorrectly spawning in parts of the floor that have already been cleared. Fixed the lobby voiceover triggering when returning to the lobby. Fixed neutralized the lieutenant. Objective sometimes choosing a non-named NPC as the lieutenant. Okay. Fixed an issue where a controller button had double functionality on the mega map. Fixed an issue where the player could get stuck in the spectate mode screen after switching camera from another player. And then various UI and map fixes. Other, so this is outside of the Summit. Fixed enemies sometimes being unreachable in the Grand Washington Hotel mission. Fixed an issue causing the shade level notification UI to not work. Fixed an issue in the Operation Iron Horse raid where RPGs could stop dropping if disconnected or fast travels out of the raid when having one equipped. Fixed an issue which occurred when the player dropped down from an object in combat causing the agent to be pushed forward then back. Fixed an issue causing group members to have no ammo when the group leader activated the Pistolero directive in the Dark Zone. Fixed global event modifiers not working as intended on legendary difficulty. And that's every single thing. I really wish they added a little section onto these patch notes where they state new bugs that could possibly enter the game. One problem with this whole thing, they haven't stated if it's dropping tomorrow or not. Absolutely nowhere does it say released on 20th. I mean, I'm pretty sure it will do because they haven't stated otherwise. The players that watch State of the Game will be thinking the 20th, so they haven't said a different date. So it should still be sticking to what they said a few days ago, and it should be tomorrow. So that was the patch notes for TU11.1. I really do hope they implement it properly because it seems as though they are very good changes, especially for the Summit. I mean, it's kind of going to render the missions in the open world obsolete because you can choose your targeted loot in the Summit, but it's finally adding in that replayability value to the game mode. And to be completely honest, I enjoy Summit, always have done. I'm pretty sure it will drop tomorrow. I think if there was going to be another date, they would have specified the date, or they would have at least told us there's a delay. But on that note, that's going to do it for the video. Let me know your thoughts and stuff in the comments. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you for watching.